Good evening, welcome back to the channel where it is time for a match preview of Watford against Liverpool, where the Reds travel to Vicarage Road looking to make it another win and claim history as the first team to get 19 wins in a row, the first Liverpool team to get 19 wins in a row. But they travel to a Watford side who are battling relegation. And it has to be said they've had a bit of an upheaval in their season, but we will come to that as well. I'm not on my own today. I've got three fantastic guests who are first timers on this channel. So to my left, I've got Jack Macindoe, Jack Mac LFC. How are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. Privileged to come on, mate. Made up. We'll be doing a video on my channel as well, so everyone wants to check that out. Me, you, Dave, and Mickey, and that. But nice one for having me on, mate. Absolute legend.
Not a problem. I've also got Mickey Fryers as well. How you doing, Mickey?
I'm fantastic. Lots of Liverpool news last couple of days.
Absolutely. And last but not least, I've got Connor Niblett from the Cop Council. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Thank you for having me on. And, right now, it's a good time to be a Liverpool fan right now. I think, we could be in a lot worse situations, being, 22 points clear? Like, it's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's no, I'm absolutely proud to have the three of you on for this preview. So big thank you to you all. So let's just kick things off. Now we basically need to start with the breaking news that Harvey Elliott has signed a new contract. Jack, we'll come to you first. Harvey Elliott, very impressed with him at the moment.
Absolutely made up, mate. I know Mickey, when we were speaking on the very first podcast, mate, I know Mickey's a huge fan, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans are. We've spoken at depth over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? All of us on our channels. He's a lad with a bright future, 17 years old, and I think it was like 3 years contract extension anyway.
Yeah.
That would take him into his 20s, and I've never been this excited. Obviously, we had Sterling, when Rafa signed him, but in terms of a player so young, I think this lad's going to go very far as long as he keeps his head level-headed and really just keeps his head down and continues to train. I think he'll be a very big figure in the next couple of years for Liverpool going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been very, very impressive with any time he's played this season. So for him to sign a new contract is absolutely massive. Mickey, what about you? What's your reaction to this news?
Oh, I'm over the moon. I mean, I've been to quite a few of the cup games this year, and I'm really impressed with him. I mean, he's a future Ballon d'Or winner for me. I've never seen a kid at 16 play so well. He plays in the first team like he's been there for years, and he doesn't look 16, does he? He looks about 21. So, he's a poster boy as well. Have you noticed? With the long hair and everything. So, it's the only way he's up. It's good news for Liverpool. It means we're looking at the future as well as present. I've got a feeling in the next 2 years he'll break into the side.
I totally agree with you. I think he is. He's starting to really impress, and I think he will probably get more cup games as well. Connor, obviously Jurgen Klopp sees Harvey Elliott for the future. Big news on the 3-year contract, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive news, to be fair. I know that Mickey is a huge fan of Harvey Elliott, and you can see why. Even towards the end of like his Fulham days, then you could say the youngest, to be in the Premier League, and what a talented player he is. Him and Curtis Jones. I think we mentioned this on like the first podcast over on Jack's channel, where him, Nico Williams, Curtis Jones, they are the future for Liverpool, and tying them down is perfect for Liverpool going forward and for now, because like what Mickey said, the next 2 years are going to be big for him, and it's going to be, can he get in that first team? And with the talent he's got, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is, and definitely one for the future, and looking forward to him developing as a Liverpool player. So let's get into the Watford game. Watford. Did any one of you expect Watford to be in the relegation zone? Because if I'm being honest, I did not expect Watford to be in the relegation zone. I had them 11th in my predicted table. Jack, did you expect Watford to be in 19th place at this present moment in time?
I think I looked at, I think last week I seen predictions. I think he had them like, 15th, 17th, in and around, like obviously the bottom anyway. You just love to chop and change managers throughout the seasons, don't they? I think that doesn't help any football club, regardless of the current run of form. But they have been, I think, they've been up and down this season. Yeah, like when Watford play well, they play well and they win games.
Yeah.
But in terms of some defensive displays, I've been an absolute shambles. I would have seen it on Match of the Day, to put it nicely. But I think it's chopping and changing. I think that's knackered them over the last couple of seasons. When you've come into the Premier League, you haven't really had that stability. When you get, like, obviously change of manager is such a big direction for any club. But I envisioned them at the beginning of the season in and around where they are, mate. But I thought they would have done at least a lot better than they actually have done this season, mate.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And yeah, they've had 3 managers this season. Obviously, they had Javi Gracia to start with, and then in September, they sacked him for Kike Sanchez Flores. It's never worked at all. That was 1 win in 10 games, and then he was booted. And now they've obviously got Nigel Pearson. So, Mickey, 3 managers this season for Watford. It's same old Watford, though, isn't it?
It is. I think they're a little bit tougher to play against now than they were before. Before they were a bit lightweight. I think Pearson's added a bit of steel to them, but let's defend. Not being mincing my words here. The defence is garbage. You know what I mean? It's just. I mean, they do pose a threat going forward. We need to be careful. They're at home. They'll be up for it. Everyone, let's put it this way, right? I said a few weeks ago, our last couple of games have all been in the relegation teams, have you noticed? All 3. Yeah. And they've all gave us a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, they have.
So you add into it, they want to beat, everyone wants to beat Liverpool, and the fact is they're fighting for their life. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I think we'll win, simply because their defence is garbage.
Yeah. Connor, obviously, Watford appointed Nigel Pearson, and one of his first games was actually against us at Anfield. And I seem to remember that they actually gave us a really, really good game. How impressed have you been with Watford under Pearson? Because he seems to have turned them around a little bit.
Yeah, I think if maybe they had appointed him first of all when they sacked their first manager, then who knows, they could be out of the relegation zone right now. And I think it was literally the first game that he took over, like he played Liverpool, and to be fair to them, they were unlucky on the day. Liverpool were, well, like the West Ham game, a bit poor defensively, allowing gaps open, and they didn't take their chances. And to be fair, like, I've watched Watford a few times this season, and like I think they drew against Arsenal and everything, like I said, at home. So at home, they've been really good, like, this season, and like quite fighty. And this game, it's going to be quite similar. Look at, like what Mickey said, West Ham and all the other ones that have played us recently. They've wanted, a fight. It's not like they've just lied down for us and gone, I'll just score like 3 or 4 goals. But it's going to be a tough game. But I'm very confident that Liverpool can do it. Hopefully we can get to 19 wins. And, it's, well, not to like curse it yet, but, if we were to get 19 wins, then would this side be the greatest, Premier League side? It's a conversation we'd probably have a talk about, but, it's one to be in the conversation at least.
Definitely. In 27 games this season, Watford have 5 wins, 9 draws, and 13 defeats. Like I said, they're sitting 19th in the table. But to be honest, there's not much between 19th and 15th. I think it's something like 4 points that are separate them. So, big question is, Jack, can you see Watford staying up this season?
I think what Nigel Pearson's done in his previous managerial roles, I think fully capable of doing it. It's if the players want to stay up, really. Obviously a big club down there, down south anyway. They got a huge history. And in terms of, I'm just glancing off in terms of the meetings, I think we've played them 13 times. Liverpool's total wins is 10, with 6 home wins, 4 away wins, and Watford have only won 2 wins with 1 home and 1 away game. Sorry. And obviously, you've mentioned the 2-0 win anyway at the beginning of the season. It's I can't see them staying up, mate. I think I'm just looking at the squads as well playing. In terms of, he's got Danny Welbeck as well. He's been out injured over the last couple of seasons. Troy Deeney, he's just recently come back as well. Delafeu, the ex-Everton winger anyway. You look at the quality in the squad and really, it looks like championship squads. Obviously, you got the Decore. I really like Decore, but I think he'll move in the summer. A big, powerful central defensive midfielder. I wouldn't mind if the possibility of even getting him in for about 5-10 million. But he's a fantastic player. I really like him. But I think they'll struggle to keep hold of him, mate.
Yeah, I've also pinpointed Ismailia Sarr as well, who's a really pacey winger and probably scored one of the goals of the season of the Europa League last season for Rennes against Arsenal. That counter attack from one box to the other where he scored an absolute fantastic header. So he'll be a threat. I've also pinpointed Ben Foster, Mickey, who seems to be another good goalkeeper that seems to have had a lot of criticism in the past. But Ben Foster, can you see him maybe coming out of international retirement, do you think?
I don't think he'll come out of international retirement. I think they make a decision simply to prolong their club career a little bit further. A bit like the old Vardy thing. I don't think Vardy's ever going to come away and come back. On Foster himself, he's a sound goalkeeper. I wouldn't say he's a great goalkeeper, hence why he's at Watford. Yeah, I know he played for Man United, but he didn't. It took, what was it, 2 years? First team, was it?
Yeah.
In and out. I think he's a sound goalkeeper. He's good enough for what he's better than the Championship. He's low end Premiership. Yeah.
I'll ask the same question to you, Mickey. Can you see Watford staying up?
Do you know what? It's that close down there. Any one of them can. The only one I know definitely is going down is Norwich.
Yeah.
From Watford up, it could be one of 6 teams, couldn't it? You know what I mean?
It could be.
You've got Aston Villa in there that keep pulling away. I mean, like Watford pulled away at one point and they've dropped back in it.
Yeah.
It really is. Like you said, I think a couple of games ago they were only like 4 points off Arsenal, weren't they?
Yeah.
I know Arsenal pulled away a bit now. Yeah. But yeah, it honestly, I really, really couldn't tell you who was going to go down. Even now, the only one we know is Norwich, but from the rest, it could be anyone's game because you look at some of the teams that are down there, West Ham, Villa, they look better than the teams around them.
Yeah.
So, or on paper they should be.
Yeah.
But I tell you, who's to say Watford could go on another run and pull out of it? You know what I mean? Like they did before. That's all it takes at the end of the season. I think if they get another 3 or 4 wins, they'll be out of it.
I know that's what I'm saying. Connor, I've just literally got the table here. So obviously got Norwich City in 20th with 18 points, and then here is what is going to be very interesting. Watford on 19, 24 points. West Ham on 18 with 24 points. Then 17th Aston Villa with 25. Bournemouth on 16 with 26. Brighton on 15 with 28. And then Newcastle United on 14 with 31. I mean, can you see Watford staying up?
It's like what Mickey said. I could definitely see them staying up, but that table could change, in the next 3 weeks, and it could be Newcastle down. It's just mad like that. But they only need like 3 or 4 games, to get up and out of it. The one team, like, I'm not surprised that they're not in it, but Bournemouth have been quite poor this season, and I thought they'd maybe kick on and try for a Europa League spot, even though I know they have such a short budget and everything like this. But in terms of Watford, Delafeu, I think, is a real class player, even though he's a former Evertonian. But yeah, but it's one of these things. I think it's like Norwich. Their football has been pretty good this season, and they're lost and they're going to be relegated. We can pretty much say that year and now. But in terms of Watford, do I think they'll stay up? Potentially, but who the hell knows, to be awfully honest with you.
I know I think that's probably a question to sort of ask maybe in this sort of the latter parts of the season. So that's obviously the Watford side of things. Now for us, team news. I believe James Milner will miss this game because apparently he missed training. So he looks like he'll be playing probably against Chelsea. So come to you, Jack, first. What do you think the starting 11 is going to be on Saturday?
When we all watched them against West Ham, everyone, I think, did anyone else get the vibe that a couple of players were absolutely knackered? I don't know if it was just me. Yeah. Robbo, I think, when I was watching him, he don't get me wrong, I think getting the goal and the momentum really pushed the side on, but when we were getting beat 2-1, Robbo looked absolutely knackered, and Trent, the amount of sheer work they do, I think there's going to come a time in the season, regardless if we keep our winning momentum going anyway, records being said, but I think there's going to come a time where fatigue really does kick in. The levels in which we've reached, but obviously you've got no cover for really left back. You've got James Milner, who could have been possibly our left back covered anyway. Larouci, will Klopp give him a Premier League start coming the back end of the season? Yeah. But I'd say the back five would be the usual back five. But it wouldn't surprise me if you've seen Trent go out to the left and maybe Fabinho play right back or something. But I don't think he'll do that. I think in the coming weeks he'll tinker with the squad. But in midfield wise, Gino Wijnaldum has to play. I felt he was so dominant against West Ham. Fabinho, Henderson's not back, is he yet? So I think you'll go with Ox, definitely, as we said after the post-match podcast. I think we'll see that midfield. I think the dynamic really wasn't quite there in the early stages against West Ham, but I think that'll be the midfield that we'll play with. And I can see a Divock Origi starting. I've got a feeling he might get just brought in, just give one of the forward three lads a rest. But if I could see it, definitely see an Origi come in for possibly Bobby. I'm not so sure, but I think if I was Klopp, I'd maybe just tinker, bring Origi in, because I think he's fully capable of really doing damage against Watford, especially in terms of defensive players. They're not that pacey at the back, so yeah, I think we can definitely utilise Divock's pace and really his physicality against Watford, because we definitely need the physicality of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think this is a sort of a game that could thrive for Divock Origi. Mickey, I'll ask the same question for you. What would be your starting 11?
So, to be honest, Keita just looks so out of form.
Yeah.
And he's gone. He's regressed again. He's gone backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got a funny feeling he's going to struggle to get back in the side now. I think he may go in the summer. I really do. I just don't think he came with a lot of promise and he's delivered a little, if you know what I mean. So I think he'll be on the bench. I think Ox will come in for him, because when Ox came on the other day, it changed the game a little bit. I think you got to keep Fabinho and Wijnaldum in the midfield, but I do think they do, especially Wijnaldum, that looks tired. The fullbacks look tired. The only change I think will be up front, because I think same we get Roberto Firmino out of form, struggling to, he's even struggling to do what he does well, like the harassing. Yeah. He doesn't look like he's on song, so he might need a little bit of thing. I'd bring Origi in as well. I think it's time for Origi to step up now, show us what he can do. He usually comes in this part of the season, doesn't he, and saves us a bit. So let's just give him a chance. But then again, I'm not Klopp, am I? He looks at the players and thinks, you might even surprise us, Chuck Jones in, because he scored a hat-trick last week, didn't he, in the reserves? So
yeah, that's very true. Same question to you, Connor. What would be your starting 11?
I think goalkeeper and defence is, it's like the rest of the lads have said. I think that is pretty much obvious. Back five, as it normally is. Midfield, you like Mickey said, they're Naby Keita. Now, I'm a huge fan of Naby Keita, and I was so gutted when he didn't perform against West Ham, because that type of game should have been his type of game, but it just wasn't. Ox was brilliant when he come on, and I think he keeps his place. I think Wijnaldum, he needs a rest, but I think there's no one there at the moment to take his place. So I think he starts, and Fabinho is a nailed on start. I think I agree with you, lads. I think Firmino needs a rest, but I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp went with Minamino in the false nine role. Like I know Origi is the number one attacking option then if the front three are not playing. But if we've seen Minamino against Shrewsbury, he played the false nine and didn't have so much a good game there. Against Everton, he had a decent game for his first game in the FA Cup playing the false nine. So maybe through a couple of weeks of training and knowing the role, maybe you might see Minamino playing in the false nine. But apart from that, it's pretty much usual. Mo Salah and Sadio Mane on the wings. And just thinking of them two attacking the Watford defence, they must be absolutely terrified when they see Mane and Salah, because if Watford have a nightmare at the back, then them two are going to have an absolute field day against Watford.
Well, Mohamed Salah loves playing against Watford. He's scored 8 goals in his last 5 appearances against the Hornets. So I think this is a game thriving for wingers in this game, and I think they're going to be petrified of Salah and Mane. So obviously I've taken you on board your teams. My team would be obviously Alisson, and then same back four, and then obviously Fab, Ox, and Gini. I do feel sorry for Keita, because obviously he has been injured a lot, and it is really sad to see him sort of regressing. And then I've put the front three. I put Bobby in there, but I do agree with you. I do think Origi may come into this game. But then again, Watford do like pressing in these kind of games, and I think maybe if Klopp does want to keep Keita, I think Keita could thrive upon that. But we shall see what happens. But on your bench, you'd obviously have Adrian, and then I think Lovren, Matip, Minamino, Lallana, Origi, because I believe Shaqiri, I think, is still injured as well. So it'd be very, very interesting. But I do agree with Connor. We could see Minamino in the false nine. But obviously, if Minamino doesn't play, Jack, can you see him playing against Chelsea on Tuesday?
Definitely, mate. Minamino against Chelsea in the cup.
Yes.
Definitely, because he needs a run of games, really, doesn't he? I completely forgot, if being honest, about Minamino. We got that many attacking players. That's how strong Liverpool are. Origi just comes to mind, but obviously you need Minamino really to get a run of games. Literally, we've got that many good players, and he's another lad. Obviously, like Naby, I think if we brought him in when we first put the bid in and give Naby a lot more time in the Premier League, I think he needs a lot more time. But I think Minamino, he's very, as the lads have said in the previous videos, he's very similar to the way in which Firmino plays. I think he could be a potential replacement for him in quite distant future anyway. Long time for that anyway. But he's a young lad, 22, 21 years old anyway. I love him. He's a very Klopp style player. And I think given the time in the system, I think he'll be an absolutely phenomenal player. We seen when he was playing against us in Champions League, he absolutely battered us, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the Liverpool and there was one player, like the Liverpool players turned around. I remember, I think it was like a quote saying Henderson and Van Dijk turned around to Klopp and went, "Can we sign him? Because he's absolutely done us in." And apparently, didn't Edwards turn around and told them, "Yeah, we're looking at him. Been looking at him for like a good 2 years anyway." But yeah.
Right, I've got to ask you all this. So, Jack, first of all, to you, what's your prediction for the game?
I got me complete West Ham prediction butchered anyway. They scored 2 against us. I said about 5-6-0. I think there'll be goals in it, as Mickey said and Connor said in the video. It'll be a very tight game. I'd even take a 1-0 if it asked me now and really just get the 3 points. But I can see Watford not sitting back. They'll get at us, poses a lot of questions. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Liverpool. But my other half side of me saying a 5-0 thrashing 6-0, but I'll stick with a 2-1.
Mickey, what about you?
3-1. I think they'll score. They're at home. We're away from home. We haven't looked the best at the moment. Obviously, as you said, with the tiredness, the amount of work that them two fullbacks do, there is going to gaps appear at this time of season. I think Klopp does need to give him a rest. He needs to find some cover for him and give him a couple of games rest. You know, especially before the Atletico Madrid game, because they're going to be crucial in that game. But 3-1. I'm going 3-1, and I'm going Salah hat-trick.
Oh, so then that would be 11 goals in 6 games. That would be fantastic to see that. Finally, Connor, to you, what would be your prediction for the game?
Should we go something crazy like 9-0?
Another record.
No, I'll go something. I like I said, I think there will be goals, but in my head, I've just got a 2-0. I think maybe Liverpool might go classic, score the first goal, and then just shut everything down, and then just score on a counter attack.
Yeah, I would take that. I would take that. I'm going with Mickey. I'm going for a 3-1 win. I do think Watford will score as well. But I just think we've got too much class for them, and I think Salah and Mane on the wings are going to cause them big problems because they're not the best defensively. We all know about that. They are a danger to set pieces as well, which is something we'll need to look on. But Craig Dawson, I mean, he has hardly scored, but he is a threat at corners as well. So it's going to be an interesting game, and Saturday tea time. I'm really looking forward to the game, but we shall see what happens. But anyway, guys, get your comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the game and give me your prediction as well. But massive thank you to Jack, Mickey, and Connor for joining me for this Watford preview.
Thank you very much for having me on, mate.
Not a problem. And where can we find you on YouTube, Twitter, etc.?
Jack Mac LFC for me, mate. Obviously, everyone, I'm going to be sending a load of my lot to your channel and Connor's channels anyway. Make sure. So if you're watching from our channel, any of our channels, leave them in the comment section below. Get involved. But thank you very much for having me on, mate.
Not a problem. Mickey, where can we find you on Twitter?
On Twitter, it's mfryers50, and on Facebook, it's just Mickey Fryers. And you'll also see me in these other lads' videos as well, because I thought I hang around a little bit.
Absolutely. Connor, where can we find you?
Well, one of the stranger things on YouTube, The Cop Council over on YouTube and at The Cop Council on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I will leave Jack, Mickey, and Connor's Twitter, YouTube in the description below. But thank you to the three of you for joining me, and come on Liverpool, let's go and beat the Hornets. See you all later. Take care. Bye bye for now.